Podcast City Network.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Deleted Wrestling Podcast. Enjoy the show. It's wonderful.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Deleted Wrestling Podcast. I am Everett Lee. Welcome for another week of wrestling talk. And tonight, we have a lot to discuss and a lot to go over here. And I have two guests with me tonight here on the Deleted Wrestling Podcast. I have none other than returning back for a second round, none other than Kentucky's Own Wrestling's the Chris Rose. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing all right, Everett. I'm just out here chillaxing in the pool, talk about some wrestling.
Hell yeah. And I'm joined by none other than the host of the Squared Circle City show, Indy Mikey. What's up, man?
What's up, buddy? How's it going, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. I can see Chris chilling in the pool, Mike just kicking back, and we were talking about Mikey's Queen shirt, man. Love that.
Yeah, it's a very nice shirt. Queen is great. One of my all-time favorite bands.
Mm-hmm.
Love them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Queen rocks out, man. It definitely does. You know, if being a wrestler, and Chris could probably agree with me on this one here, it's like it would be awesome to come out to a Queen song, because you could come out to like basically anyone, because they're so diverse and with their music and stuff. You can come out rocking. I mean, just they got something for everybody, you know.
Oh yeah. They got something for everybody, man. And it'd be awesome, you know. It's just like, I don't even know if any wrestlers ever come out to "We Will Rock You."
Yeah, that's the song I was thinking of. That would be a really good entrance song for someone.
Yeah. And then when you win your match, you play "We Are the Champions."
Yeah, there you go.
We are the champions. I'm surprised I haven't played that if anyone's won a title, man. You know, we are the champions. That would be awesome. That definitely would be awesome. You'd be like, they'd be like, "We are the champions," and everyone's just like, just doing that there. But man, this week in wrestling, a lot has happened, and a lot has went on in wrestling this week, guys. Especially last weekend. Last weekend was an action-packed pay-per-view with WWE Extreme Rules on Sunday. Saturday night, you had AEW Fight for the Fallen. That was head-to-head with, on the WWE Network, Evolved Wrestling. And it was just an action-packed weekend. I don't know what you guys caught this week. I know, Mikey, you caught Fight for the Fallen. I watched that. Chris, you watched that too, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah, it was a pretty good show. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, not as good as the previous two, but yeah, it was still a pretty good event. Yeah, it definitely was. How do you feel about it, Mikey?
I agree. I think Double or Nothing kind of set the standard, more or less, for what they're doing. Fighter Fest was kind of, it was good. Fight for the Fallen, it was good as well, but I mean, yeah, like he said, it didn't really, I thought the first two were better, but yeah, it was still good. Like, there was something for everyone, so. It was. There was something for everyone. I was going to head up there to Jacksonville to go see this in person, but unfortunately that didn't happen because last minute, because me and my wife couldn't get tickets though. But I enjoyed it most of what I could because on the app, the Bleacher Live Report app kept buffering for me. I don't know how you got, if you watched it that way too, but it was a pain in the butt for me to watch the damn pay-per-view. it was.
And then we all had that closed caption issue going on.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad I wasn't the only one. Did that happen to you guys too? The closed caption.
Yep.
I unplugged my Fire Stick. I plugged it back in. I restarted it. I restarted the app. I put the app back on. I was like, what the hell is going on, man? There's so many issues with this. But it turned out great, and I guess a lot of people tuned in for this. And
oh yeah.
What match? I'll start with you, Chris. What was your favorite match out of all these 9 matches?
Fight for the Fallen. My favorite match was Kenny Omega and Shima.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of good storytelling in the match. It was a very good back and forth match. Definitely a long match, but better than the rest of the long matches that was on the card. I feel like some of the matches could have been shortened up. But this one I was really into, because I was really into Shima last show when he faced Christopher Daniels.
Yeah.
Well, it was one of my favorite matches on that card. And he was with Kenny Omega this time. Really thought that was my favorite match on the show.
Yeah. What about you, Mikey? What was your favorite match on this card?
It's kind of hard to pick a favorite match on this one. I have aspects from all the matches that I liked equally. I can't really say that I had a favorite match. I really enjoyed the Sonny Kiss Peter Avalon match. Everybody getting their first chance to really get to see a lot of Sonny Kiss for those that didn't watch him in like Lucha Underground and seeing him everywhere else. The whole women's thing with like Nyla Rose and then Awesome Kong coming out and her having face to face with Aja. Freaking excited to see what he's gonna do with Awesome Kong being in AEW because I've been a big fan of her since TNA. So. And then the triple threat tag match.
Yeah, the triple threat.
The Dark War. Devin acted. Didn't see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good. The triple tag match. I would have to say. What's that?
Yeah.
The triple tag match.
Nope. Here.
Which one, Mikey? You're cutting out there a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say about the triple tag. I was going to say about the triple threat tag match. Like with the whole Dark Order thing, and mostly for me, I was really excited to see what they're doing with like Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and seeing Marco Stunt come out there and being part of it and everything. It's just so freaking awesome.
Yeah, the triple threat tag team match is definitely my second favorite one. That was a really good one as well. They did a lot of stuff I've never seen before in that match.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was off the hook right there. I enjoyed that.
I like the way matches are slowed down too. Like I like them to be slowed down and not fast paced 24/7. And they really did have a good job of slowing down the match and giving us time to process all the crazy shit they was doing. It was really good, man. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I like the triple threat tag match. I also like the Lucha Brothers going up against SoCal Uncensored. I like the Lucha Brothers, man. Just what they do in the ring. They pull out some crazy stuff. And
oh yeah.
the Lucha Brothers, they were in Lucha Underground, right? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's where I recognize Pentagon Jr. at from Lucha Underground there. And yeah, Jungle Boy Luchasaurus, that was great. I enjoyed that. The Dark Order, we finally get to see them instead of them just showing up, and you finally get to see them in action. And like you mentioned, Sonny Kiss and Peter Avalon, you finally get to see Peter Avalon in action, because at Fyter Fest, Levy Bates was in the ring. She had her match, and then Peter was outside the ring, and then now Peter finally got to wrestle, which was great. I liked the last match with the Young Bucks and the Brotherhood, because so much emotion went into that match right there. I mean, just for like Cody and Dustin just teaming up. I mean, when was the last time we saw Cody and Dustin team up? I mean, when was the last time was that? That was back in WWE, wasn't it?
Goldust and Stardust, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been forever. It's been forever. One match I would have to say my kind of least favorite would have to be that I didn't really get too much into was the second match with Britt Baker and Rio and the women's tag match. There was problems that happened here and there.
Brie Priestley.
Yeah, Brie Priestley and Shukua Nakajima, and defeating Britt Baker and Rio. I just there was so much stuff that went on back and forth there and stuff, and I think Britt Baker actually injured herself during that match. She ended up injuring herself.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, she took that
concussion.
Yeah, she took that concussion, man. And you remember when she was on that second turnbuckle and she had her head turned, and when and I forget who comes up, but when they came up with the drop kick to the back of the head there, and then after that she just wasn't the same. And I hope everything turned out all right and stuff, and just with her. I mean, it was pretty bad, because when they mentioned it, when I was reading it on social media there, I remember that spot there, and I was like, yeah, that looked pretty brutal, because my wife even said it was like it didn't look like she took that too well right there. But I just couldn't get into that match there. But other than that, you guys say this was better than Fyter Fest, or Fyter Fest and Double or Nothing were better than this. I mean, it's just, I enjoyed it. I liked Fyter Fest and Double or Nothing more than this, but this was still a decent, good pay-per-view. I don't know how you guys feel about.
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Didn't hate it by no means.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did.
And it was definitely a good transition to get us heading into All Out, and it's definitely something to get everybody excited for when they head on TV in October. So, very excited to see all that's going to go on in the future.
I'm ready for October to get here.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you and me both. All three of us.
Yeah, I'm excited and ready to see what they do in October with the TNT deal. All Out. I mean, if you really look at it, All Out, when they're going to be coming off of All Out into the TV deal, so they're already going to be bringing more buzz than what they're doing, because Double or Not or All In last year, they got to top that, man. They got to top that with All Out, because if you always got to top the previous show that you have, and with the star power and everything that they have for this for the roster in AEW in general, I would say that All Out is going to be all out. They're going to let it all out.
I'm ready for August 31st. That's going to be great.
Yeah, I am too. I am too. Have they even really announced any other matches for the pay-per-view for All Out? Because we have, the World Heavyweight Championship match, Adam Page versus Jericho.
They got Adam Page and Chris Jericho, John Moxley, and Kenny Omega. And just announced on Road to All Out is Shawn Spears and Cody.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and in Cody's corner. No, not in Cody's corner. I'm sorry. Shawn Spears' corner is Tully Blanchard.
Oh yeah, I saw something about that.
Yep.
Wow, Tully Blanchard.
That's going to be a great match. Good story between those two, dating back to their Ohio Valley days.
Yeah.
And how their WWE careers became. It took Ty Dillinger years to get that character in place for WWE. And as he left, it opened up doors for him as Shawn Spears. Yeah, I'm really excited for that match as well for All Out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that right there. And then, did you guys hear about Jericho? This is we're talking about AEW. You hear about Jericho talking about one of the talents that he likes to get for AEW, a female talent on the roster. He wants to get Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah, that'd be a really good catch for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's tremendous.
Yeah. Did you guys catch that match she did at Slammiversary on Impact? It's against Sandy.
I was at a show that night, so I totally missed Slammiversary, but I was at a show that night, but I heard about it. So
yeah, they said it was a lot of people were praising it and stuff, and Jericho's like, I want her, and I feel that AEW, if she goes with AEW is going to they're going to have a great talent right there because of the family history. I mean, Tully's doing stuff at AEW. Why would you not be in the same company with your father, who's a legend? You know, Ric Flair of the Four Horsemen. You know, it's like, why not? Since I said Flair, I got to give a woo for that. Yeah, I mean, why not get someone with a family wrestling legacy like that on your roster? Because
I'm sure she has a pretty good contract right now with Impact, but when it's once up, be on the watch for her to be going to All Elite. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she'll definitely be hitting to All Elite.
She seems like one of those workers who, you know, she's a second generation, I believe, superstar.
Yeah.
Third, I don't know. I don't really know. But, I mean, she has that respect factor to honor that contract.
Yeah.
With Impact. And, you know, maybe one day we'll see her in All Elite Wrestling. It'd be pretty cool, too, because for her to be on a TNT worldwide basis, which I think she should be in WWE a long time ago. Yeah, man, that'd be really a blast to see her in All Elite.
Yeah. I feel that WWE dropped the ball on that right there. Not signing her when she wrestled the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
They dropped the ball on getting her. They should have signed her, man. Because do you think she would have probably overshadowed Charlotte Flair eventually? You think that
eventually? Yeah, possibly.
You think, Mikey?
I personally, I think Charlotte's overrated. I'm not. I think Tessa could have. I think she might have gone neck and neck. I mean, it would have been interesting to see. You know, with Charlotte being better, there's all that push. So.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of talent and stuff to push. I mean, yeah, I feel like she would have overshadowed Charlotte, but and she's fantastic. What I've seen in Mae Young Classic and what I've seen on YouTube with her, and it'd be interesting if she shows up at All Out. Wouldn't that be something right there? She interferes in some kind of match with All Out, huh?
Yeah, that would be insane.
That definitely would be insane. And Starcast this year for All Out. You hear who's going to be at Starcast this year?
Yes, the headliner.
Yes.
Sure did.
Mm-hmm.
The best in the world.
The best in the world, CM Punk.
That's right.
I really hope this interacts with AEW. I really do hope so. I've missed him since 2004.
I do too.
I've missed him since 2014. And as a true wrestling fan as I am, I look past the MMA stuff because, I mean, he's got a lot of balls to even join that sport with no background whatsoever. He just wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
But as a fan as I am, and he's one of my top 5 favorites of all time because he did change the business in my eyes. I would love to see him back in that realm of professional wrestling. And AEW would be a perfect fit for him.
Yeah. yeah, definitely.
Sure.
Definitely. I think I have CM Punk right here. Gonna drop a pipe bomb right here.
This voice, this is power. In anybody else's hands, this is a microphone. In my hands, it's a pipe bomb.
It is.
It is. But I'm telling you, I hope people don't come out of the woodworks and just start
Bitching and moaning and bitching and bitching and bitching and bitching and
That was a promo
bitching and bitching and bitching. Are you?
Yep. He gave the best promos, man.
That was some fun times watching Raw and SmackDown when
it was
Summer Funk. Yeah.
It was.
Oh yeah.
It was. My favorite promo he did was on Kevin Nash. He's like, I'm talking to my sister. OMG. I thought Kevin Nash was dead. That was fantastic. That definitely was fantastic. That right there. But I'm excited. I'd love to go to All Out. I'd definitely love to go to Starcast and meet CM Punk because he says he likes to meet his fans and do something like this once a year to meet his fans. And I know he gets to interact with them and doing something like this. He's looking forward to, especially he sees how big this is right now. He does.
Right.
He does. And I'm sure everybody in line are going to be like, when are you coming back to wrestling? So I know he's prepared for what questions people's going to ask him, the obvious, you know? Yeah. So, but talking about CM Punk, talking about WWE, Extreme Rules was this past Sunday. What do you guys think about Extreme Rules? And I know you watched it, Chris. I watched it. I know, Mike, you watched or you heard about some stuff that happened. What was the least favorite thing that you heard about Extreme Rules this past Sunday, Mike?
At least.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Okay.
I know.
My signal is terrible in there.
Oh, it is your signal.
Okay. My least favorite thing that I heard about on Sunday at Extreme Rules, I would say would be everybody's least favorite thing that they heard about and that they saw was the Brock Lesnar thing.
Yeah, the Brock Lesnar thing. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think...
I see absolutely no reason why Brock should continue to be getting all these pushes and everything. It's just it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I can kind of see it, but I kind of can't. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a shock for me. I expected like Brock Lesnar to cash in at like SummerSlam, or like a Night of Champions or something like that. How'd you feel, Chris, about Brock Lesnar coming in Extreme Rules and just cashing in on Rollins?
Yeah, it definitely surprised me because my favorite match of that night was the mixed tag team match.
Mm-hmm.
They told a really good story in the match. I loved how that was all put together.
Yeah,
and I liked Baron Corbin giving the end of days to Becky Lynch. I don't know why, but it was just different. It's not something you see all the time, and the crowd definitely reacted to it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But with Brock cashing in, I mean that's just how the Money in the Bank is.
Yeah.
And Brock Lesnar cashing in, setting it up for SummerSlam. Speaking of that, I don't know why they had a battle royal on Raw because they'll let Seth win. They should have just gave him the rematch. But
exactly.
But because I was hoping to see Bobby Lashley and Lesnar finally go at it, but because that match too was probably my second favorite. Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman, the Last Man Standing. That was definitely their best match they've had between the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Brock and Seth at SummerSlam. It should be a pretty good one. I mean, I like Brock. I liked him better in the UFC world.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm kind of excited for it, but yeah, I don't really like Brock being the top guy all the time.
I know.
I'm like a lot of you guys, but I still like the guy. I mean, he's a monster. He has good matches with the guys like Daniel Bryan, Seth, and AJ.
Yeah.
I'm real excited for SummerSlam. It's going to be a good one.
It is. And yeah, the battle royal that was kind of ridiculous. You agree with that, Mike? I mean, the battle royal. I mean, that was kind of ridiculous there Monday. And
it was the most pointless number one contention match. Like we all knew he was gonna get that number one contention match. Why was there even a point to it?
Yeah. Yeah, they should at least had someone new face them. I would have liked to see Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. That would have been something right there. If you actually look at all the people that were in that battle royal, basically, except Rey Mysterio, or probably, correct me if I'm wrong, back when Brock was on SmackDown, I think he did wrestle Rey once. I don't know. But pretty much everyone that was in that battle royal had a shot at the Universal title against Brock Lesnar, and they've lost. They lost. The only guy is Bobby Lashley. And I remember a few years ago, Bobby Lashley, when he came back, he's like, I want to go after Brock. I want to have a match with Brock Lesnar. They should. Two big guys going at it. I mean, come on now.
And both guys was in MMA.
Yeah, both of them.
Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley's undefeated in the MMA right now when he's in Bellator. Which he can't do that now because he's in WWE, and Vince won't let him do that. Which I don't blame him. But yeah, Bobby Lashley, I think, has gotten his smoke back. I think that the Brock Lesnar match would have made sense, but of course it's not going to happen because that's why Bobby Lashley wanted it, because so many of the fans, even when he was in TNA, wanted that match. Bobby Lashley and Brock.
Yeah.
And but I mean, hopefully we get it down the road because I'd love to see it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely there. I definitely like to see that. Someone new for him, Someone new for Lesnar, for God's sakes. It's just, come on, just give us someone different. Now, what other match was pretty interesting? I thought, I'll throw this out here. I thought the AJ Styles and Ricochet match was pretty good. That was pretty decent. Yeah. I knew the club was going, Gallows and Anderson were going to interfere, inject themselves in the match. It was a no-brainer there, though, but it was like, how were they going to inject themselves into the match? And AJ captured his second, this would be his second U.S. title run, right?
Yes, I believe so, the second, two-time.
Yeah, two-time. Yeah, this would be the second one now. Now, a lot of people were upset about Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor being on a pre-show for the IC title. Even Paul Heyman stressed it. This should be on the main card. And yeah, it should have been. And you know why Shinsuke won the title? There's speculation that Balor's going to be taking time off after SummerSlam, and apparently they're going to be setting up a match with someone who returned here just recently, this past Monday.
Yeah.
Very excited on that one.
Yeah.
That was really good, but the live crowd didn't really pop very big for it in my eyes.
No.
But yeah, I think it was that freaking mask, dude. That's a good mask he has. I think it freaked him out.
Oh
so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool to finally see Bray Wyatt, and they're obviously for SummerSlam setting up Bray Wyatt versus the Demon.
Yeah.
That's gonna be really fun to see. Actually, I'm gonna like that.
Yeah. How do you guys how do you feel about the Bray Wyatt's new character in the Demon? I mean,
no, yeah, it's probably the best thing on Raw, especially with the Firefly Funhouse vignettes. Very good. I loved it.
Yeah, I started. At first, I didn't really care too much about the vignettes, but then when he started murdering everybody around him, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is going somewhere now.
And I liked how before he returned, I liked the little puppets in the background to build up his return. And I didn't notice those until the next day when people would post them on social media. I didn't notice it live until the next day, and I would see him in the background. I'm like, oh, that's clever. That's pretty cool. They put more time into him than anybody right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They definitely have. They definitely have put a lot of time into him. You know, this whole new transformation and gimmick and everything it's all his idea, and they've given him the creative freedom to do this, which I think is great. I think it's fantastic. I definitely think.
And recently, speaking of creative freedom, I heard on one of the rumor sites that Kevin Owens' promos are unscripted for him.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
I
dig that.
That is.
Yeah, he's really good. He deserves that.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
And he's getting a lot of time into his character as well.
Oh yeah.
And Kevin Owens is one of my favorites. Jericho is my favorite of all time, and I really dig their run together as the best friends. Now the best friends are Chucky T and Beretta. But before that, it was Jericho and KO, and I loved it. That was some of my favorite stuff, man.
Yeah.
But I'm glad Kevin Owens is getting that good babyface push because, I mean, he can't be a heel. Too many people like him.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, he's gonna be fun.
He is. What did you guys think about Owens? And me and Chris talked about this last week, Mike. We talked about possibility of Owens versus Ziggler at Extreme Rules, which we didn't think was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen, and then all of a sudden, the match happened. A 17-second match happened. Owens stuns Ziggler in 17 seconds in 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I was expecting a pretty good match between the two, but they're trying to get Kevin Owens over like Steve Stone Cold. So
yeah, they definitely
get
are.
it.
I don't really think that they should be trying to push him as like the next Stone Cold. I think he's got a shitty stunner. I think his stunner is so terrible.
Oh yeah.
But like, let him be. How do I say it? Let him be like he was back when he was still Kevin Steen, when he was like the best heel on the planet. But like, kind of like clean it up a bit. He's still to this day one of the best talkers on the planet. Like, you put a mic in his hand and it's absolutely gold. But, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't push him as the next Stone Cold. Make him be just Kevin. Like, let Kevin be Kevin. And that's what they're doing right now. I love it.
Yeah, I agree with you right there. I agree right there with you, Mikey. They should. Stevie Austin even his like hit him up on social media and he's like, "You want me to show you how to do that stunner, son?" He's like, "I'll show you how to do it." He's giving him props for it. He's giving him props for it, and they've asked him. It's like, oh, Kevin Owens is doing the Stone Cold Stunner. How do you feel about that, Stone Cold? And he's like, and his response was, "Hell, someone eventually has to do it." Yeah, he gave him props for it because last year I met Billy Gunn at that wrestling event in Orlando, and I asked him, I said, "How do you feel about Dolph Ziggler doing the Famouser?" And he basically said, "You know what?" He's like, "We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here." He's like, "Of course, there's moves in wrestling, and people are going to use them." And he's like, him using the Famouser. He's like, "I feel flattered. I like it. I feel flattered." And he's like, "But I do appreciate that he, it's a flattering that that he's doing it and stuff." I mean, I'm surprised no one's actually really done the rock bottom yet. I mean, well, there's Booker T. Booker T. He does the bookend, but it's the rock bottom. But no one's actually done the rock bottom yet. Has taken that one, I mean, we're there for a while. What is it, Alexa Bliss? She's using DDT. And when I see someone use a DDT as a finisher, there's only one guy I think of, and that's Jake the Snake Roberts.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's 100 moves, millions of moves out there, or 100. There's 1,001 holds in moves that in wrestling. So you're gonna pick what you like and you're gonna go with it. You definitely are. You definitely are. But Extreme Rules, man. I enjoyed Aleister Black and Cesaro. I thought that was a really good match.
Yeah, that was great.
I'm a little pissed that I missed that match because I was saying the whole entire week after they announced it, I'm like, that there could be the match of the night. Like, those two together.
Yeah, it was a very physical match.
Yeah. It was physical, man. It was because they pulled out a lot of the stops, man. They did. They pulled out a lot of the stops in that match there. And they performed really well. Aleister Black, I was glad to see him actually have his first pay-per-view match ever since being solo now on the main roster away from Ricochet. And another match, which I really did enjoy, was the Undertaker Roman Reigns versus Shane and Drew McIntyre match.
Oh yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah.
That was great because Undertaker didn't really have to do much. He didn't. He didn't. But he had some really good spots. He did.
That showed you a Super Showdown who, Goldberg and Undertaker. Goldberg was the one that, really didn't do the best. I mean,
yeah.
I think they both got hurt in the match. It was just a clash of styles, and at their age, maybe at 98, 99, this would have been a better match. But I did like the it was interesting that they opened the show. I thought that was going to be the main event, quite honestly.
Yeah.
And but they put that show pretty good. They put that show good together. Yeah, that tag team match was really great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it showed
Undertaker redeemed himself. There you go.
He did. He redeemed himself. He showed. This is how great the Undertaker is as being they call it a ring general. He did excellent as a ring general, which I thought was great. I thought was really great there. I mean, just the New Day. The one disappointment I was disappointed in was the New Day winning the tag team titles again. It should. Daniel Bryan or Rowan should have retained, or it should have went to Heavy Machinery.
Absolutely.
That it should have went to them. You know, I know Otis was really excited and stuff because he was running into the ring there. You know, letting everyone know that he was.
I'm coming.
But it just, I was disappointed in New Day. New Day now. They have the tag team titles, SmackDown tag team titles, and the WWE Championship now. Now, one thing I can say is now Kofi don't have to worry. He doesn't look over his shoulder anymore. He's safe now. I hate to say that, man. You know, with the I bet he was sitting there sweating bullets, and when Brock cashed in on Seth, he was like, whew, oh man, I dodged that one. Because what if Lesnar would have cashed in on Kofi? I was waiting for him to cash in on Kofi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How would?
Yeah, I think he should have held the Money in the Bank briefcase a lot longer.
He should.
I liked how Paul Heyman was teasing both of them. Yeah.
He teased both of them pretty good. He definitely teased both of those pretty good. Now, one thing about him, you know, teasing about the championship and stuff. The reason why Brock Lesnar got the Universal title back is because, you know, we're talking about AEW going to be on TNT in October. Another thing too, I don't know if you realize that in October, SmackDown's moving to Fox on Friday nights. Yep. And Fox has been stepping in and then wanting to see things here and there, because they want SmackDown to be, you know, at a certain level when it debuts on their network in October. And one of the things was Brock Lesnar being the champion, and they want Brock on there. They're talking about after SummerSlam doing another shakeup. You know, doing another shakeup. They're thinking of taking this Universal title, the WWE title, and flipping them over on different shows. They're the Universal.
Are they gonna put a blue strap on the Universal?
That's one question I'm wondering about.
What the hell are they gonna do with a red strap title over on SmackDown?
Exactly. What?
That's Vince logic right there. They won't know the difference, pal.
It is very much Vince logic.
You know what the Universal title's nickname was, right? You know what the nickname for the Universal title was for a while? They called it the Fruit Roll Up title. You know what if they turn the Universal title blue for SmackDown, you know what I'm gonna nickname it right here. You know what I'm gonna call it if the Universal title shows up on SmackDown Live and the strap is blue, like you said there, Mikey. I will name it the Universal Smurf title. It will be known as the Universal Smurf title.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know if that happened because you heard about people's response with the Universal title when it was revealed. You know, poor Mick Foley. Why does he get booed when he reveals titles for WWE? You know, that just gets me. It just gets me. But Extreme Rules, I have to say, Extreme Rules was decent. It was better than what I've seen in the previous years with Extreme Rules. I don't know if you would agree with me on that because the last couple years Extreme Rules hasn't really been too extreme, you know. So I give this pay-per-view Extreme Rules on a scale 1 to 5. I give it about a 3. What rating would you guys give it? We'll start with you.
Yeah,
I'd
say about a 3.5. I mean,
Chris Rose 3.5.
It was definitely better than Stomping Grounds.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't really remember last year's Extreme Rules. I have to go on the WWE Network and look that up again. But this pay-per-view was definitely the best one of the year so far.
Yeah, it was decent. It was decent. What your thoughts on what you read and everything?
I heard, I mean, I still haven't watched it yet, but from all I've heard, about a 3. Yeah, I'm with you guys. About a 3, maybe.
Yeah.
I will say though, I think the heat that Baron Corbin catches is unnecessary because so many people were like, "Oh man, this guy can be like." I personally, I love Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. This guy, when he was doing the whole Lone Wolf thing back in NXT when he first debuted on the main roster, I was like, man, this guy's gonna be one of the top heels.
Yeah.
And then now look at him. He is. It's not how everybody thought he was gonna go about doing it. But he's one of the top heels, and he's one of the most hated guys in the company. And I think he's ridiculously underrated. I think he's really freaking good.
Uh-huh.
He is, and he has one of the best finishers in the company. And he gets great heat, and he still portrays the GM role, which makes people even more mad. Like, he comes up there still dressed as GM, and he does his job. That's why he was in the main event spot, and that's why Vince likes him. He's a true heel, like MJF. He's a true heel.
Exactly.
And that's why he gets a push, and that's why he signed a new multi-million-dollar deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you hear who else signed a deal this week? A new deal? Rusev. I think.
Do what now?
Oh, really now?
I think No. Take that back. His contract's expiring soon. Someone else just signed another long-term. No, Braun Strowman. Okay. Yes. Okay. Braun Strowman. Yeah. Braun Strowman was the one who ended up signing another 4-year deal, multi-dollar deal with WWE. And apparently with this pay-per-view, a lot of people were upset and were kind of happy about Monday. They were excited, but at the same time they weren't, because we already know the cat's out of the bag. It has been, some people's been talking about a week right before Raw and SmackDown, or before Extreme Rules actually. It was that Paul Heyman will be running creative on Raw and Eric Bischoff running creative on SmackDown. And you've seen a little bit of what Paul has done, because they're talking about it's going to be a clean slate for both these guys. And we really didn't see it this week. I feel that after, in the next 2 weeks, because not next week, but in the next 2 weeks, you'll start kind of seeing little changes here and there, because I know a lot of people expected, we need, overnight. It's not going to happen. By SummerSlam, you're going to see stuff on Raw from Bischoff, or Heyman, excuse me, and SmackDown, what Bischoff's doing. And I mean, Heyman did a little bit this week, but SmackDown, I mean,
it was a different story because a lot of people thought Bischoff was there. He actually was not at SmackDown this week. Bischoff.
No, he has not started yet.
No, he has not started yet. He has not started yet. He was going across country, moving his family from Wyoming to Connecticut to be closer to the WWE headquarters, closer to his new job. And you won't see any changes here with Heyman and Bischoff until by SummerSlam. How do you guys feel about that? I want to start with you, Mike, and then Chris, and get your thoughts on the changes, from Heyman and Bischoff.
I like it. That first Raw, after they announced, hey, Bischoff and Heyman are going to be having executive roles for both the shows, that very first Raw, it's like, you can see Paul Heyman had a little bit of an effect on it. Like, wow, this has got Paul Heyman's fingerprints like right all over it. But it's kind of slack for the past 2 weeks. I absolutely love both of them. Paul Heyman more so. Paul Heyman's one of the absolute best minds this business has ever had.
Yeah.
So I trust Paul Heyman with Raw, and I'm very excited to see what Bischoff does with SmackDown.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. How do you feel, Chris?
Yeah, I first heard about this, that Raw after it was announced. Yeah, it was really cool with Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman going through the set. It definitely felt like a different Raw. I hope when these guys take over, which I know they can't do that, but I hope they change the settings for both shows. Both shows feel the same to me still, but different logos. I hope the stages, change up a little bit. And I wish they would have shows like Fight for the Fallen, like at smaller venues. Mm-hmm. Like it definitely had like a 96, 97 Nitro feel to it. Fight for the Fallen did, one of the outdoor Nitros. Yeah. That's what I loved about that show. The most is really it was the atmosphere. But yeah, I'm ready to see what Eric Bischoff does on SmackDown. I heard about him confirming it on 83 Weeks, the podcast with Conrad. He said he was moving his family to Connecticut, and I'd say he won't start until he gets fully moved in and settled in because he wants to do it right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really excited for both guys. Paul Heyman is definitely a great mind with the ECW, and he's been in WWE ever since then.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'd say after their big pay-per-view SummerSlam, the creative for Eric Bischoff will begin as well. Mm-hmm. And I'd say Fox is excited to have Eric on as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they definitely will, because Bischoff will be talking with Fox too, because since SmackDown will be on Fox, he'll be talking and discussing with him about what's going on and how the product's doing and everything. And that's one of the things, and I think he's perfect for it. Bischoff's gonna be perfect for it. He's gonna help SmackDown. Having Heyman on Raw, that's gonna be perfect too. It's gonna be interesting to see where they go, which show, because like the stage set, the reason why they did the one thing with Lashley and Strowman is they're gonna rebuild and do a whole new stage for Raw and a new stage for SmackDown. Try to separate them and keep them like certain different brand differentiates. That's one of the things that they were talking about there. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see what direction these guys take things. It definitely is. It definitely is. One of the things people's been talking about this week, we talked about it here briefly, was the return of Bray Wyatt with the mask and stuff. I was gonna mention earlier, the mask. You know who made his mask? He's a horror icon in the horror industry.
He's done stuff for Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. He was in Dusk Till Dawn. He was in Dusk Till Dawn. He was the guy who had the gun on his crotch. Remember him? That's the guy who designed Bray Wyatt's new mask. And having Bray Wyatt return, a lot of people were speculating when he's going to return. He finally returned. One thing I wanted to discuss tonight is mention like wrestlers in WWE that hangs around for a while and then they disappear, and then all of a sudden, boom, they come back, and you're like, oh man, this guy just came back. I've never seen this guy. Haven't seen this guy in a long time. So one thing I want to throw out there tonight is our top 3 wrestlers returning. Our favorite top 3 returns for wrestlers who was gone for a while, and then you don't hear nothing from them for like months, maybe almost a year, and all of a sudden, bam, they show up, and you're like, oh my, you start marking out because it's like they're back on TV. You know, we've had that moments because I've seen a lot, and I know you guys have seen a lot of people come and go that's make an impact when they return. And I want to start with you, Chris, and then Mike, and then me. We'll go around. We'll start with your number 3 pick of a wrestler returning. Who would be your number 3?
The only one I've really saw return was Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
I don't really know of anybody else returning. Maybe you guys could help me out here, and then I could put an order together here.
Okay.
But
okay. Yeah.
Bray Wyatt returning was definitely a awesome sight to see, especially with the Firefly Funhouse vignettes he's been doing. And, he's been gone for a very long time.
Yeah.
But I don't know of anybody else.
What about the Hardy Boys returning at WrestleMania 33?
Oh, you're going back that far.
Yeah, you can go back far as you can remember, man. Yeah, because I got some good ones tonight. For my favorite ones.
Oh, is this top 3 returns of all time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one at WrestleMania was amazing. I remember watching that. I remember the New Day coming out there and saying that there was going to be a fourth tag team.
Yeah.
And my brother's like, it's still going to be the New Day. They're going to come down there and be in the match. And I was like, no, dude, it's not going to be them. It's going to be the Hardys. I know it. And the New Day just kept walking down. I was like, it ain't going to be the Hardys. And then I heard their music, and I threw my beer up in the ceiling. It was the fucking best thing I've ever saw. I marked out so bad. Yeah. If we're gonna go all time, that was one of mine. I like that. And Chris Jericho, returning, and at the Royal Rumble, Dolph Ziggler was the first guy out, and Chris Jericho returned at that Rumble. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man, I just don't know. I wasn't expecting this. I thought it was top 3 returns of this year.
No. But, it's all time. It's all time. I do want to elaborate on the Hardy Boy return. I throwing that out there because that was because they tried to throw people off at that time because they did a show here in Lakeland, Florida, where they dropped the tag titles, the ROH tag titles, to the Young Bucks when the Young Bucks were in ROH, and a lot of people are like, yeah, they're coming to WWE, but you didn't hear nothing because they made it like they left. They were gone. They left Florida.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, bam, they show up. How did you feel about the Hardy Boys returning, Mikey?
Oh, dude, I remember that like it was yesterday, man. Like, I know that they were doing the whole Ring of Honor thing with the Bucks. And just the whole Broken Matt and Brother Nero thing. Like, once they left Impact and they started, like, just going everywhere and winning titles. Like, I thought it was amazing. And I was so on board for all of that. And then they just... all of a sudden, like, I knew that they were going to be there in Florida that night. I knew that they were going to be there that night.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this has got to be it, man. Like, I was so freaking excited. But yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I was excited about that because when he was coming out, what was cool was when Matt was running down, he's doing the delete, and you have, like, I forgot how many people were in the Rose Bowl, was in the stadium there, and freaking everyone was going delete. I mean, it was great.
It was great.
It was great.
I also like the return when it was in 2011. It was when they was building Undertaker and Triple H for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And everybody thought it was gonna that vignette was originally supposed to be for Sting.
Uh-huh.
Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
The build up, and man, I love that when Undertaker came out, and then right after Undertaker came out, Triple H's music hit, and they had both returned. Man, I love that. That was a really good mark out moment.
Yeah.
And I also liked another Jericho return. It was when Punk was the champion in 2012.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, they set up really good vignettes for Jericho, and I didn't know it was going to be Jericho because it was really out of that element that he's usually used to. But yeah, I love that return as well to set up Jericho and Punk for WrestleMania that year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. There's a lot of returns, man. Edge at the Royal Rumble when he eliminated Jericho in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good return. Edge coming back. I really that came out of nowhere because it was a ACL tear.
Yeah.
Or something like that, and I didn't expect him to be back so quickly. That was really good. But yeah, I need more than 3 right there, guys. I'm sorry.
That's fine, man.
But,
that's fine. It's good. It's all good.
Yeah, that's some of my memorial ones right there. They'll stick to my memory right there.
Yeah. What memories you have there, Mikey, of wrestlers returning?
Kind of hard for me to pick a top 3, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to kind of piggyback off Chris a little bit.
Okay.
Some of my favorites. One that I really loved was when Hogan came back and he had like the red and yellow feather boas and he was coming out to Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like the coolest shit in the world.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Literally every Undertaker comeback ever. So, I mean, there's nothing that he can do wrong. I really liked Jericho when he came back with the whole Save Us thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he first came back with that light-up jacket, that was actually one of my favorite nights because he came back, he went in the ring, grabbed the mic, we thought he was going to say something.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about with the vignettes.
That was one of my favorite moments ever. When he just came out, thought he was going to say something, didn't say anything, ran around the ring, interacted with the fans, and then walked back out. I'm like, what was that?
Yeah, he did that. He did that for like 2. He did that for like 2 weeks. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I was so mad at him though at the time. I was like, "Oh my god, why don't this asshole talk?" I was like, "I've been waiting for you forever to come back. Like, talk." But he finally did. But I loved it. It was cool. At first though, I was like, "Why aren't you saying anything, dude?" I was like, "Come on!" But Jericho's smart. He knows how to do shit. So.
He knows how to work crowd. He does. He does. Any other returns that you can think of off the top of your head?
Oh man, No, not off the top of my head, man.
No. My favorite returns would have to be you mentioned Dead Man, The Undertaker. When I think it was at Judgment Day at 2000 on Judgment Day pay-per-view, The Rock and Triple H was wrestling in an Iron Man match. And then all of a sudden, you've been seeing through the week these vignettes of like these children. They're like, he's coming. You're like, who's coming?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the corporation got involved in that Iron Man match with Triple H and The Rock. And then all of a sudden, the vignette showed up and everything. Like, Vince was in the ring, and all of a sudden, he's like, he's here. And it's like, who the hell's here? All of a sudden, come busting down through the ring, down the ramp on a motorcycle, The Undertaker, when he started the American Badass gimmick. I'm just getting goosebumps just thinking about that. I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm like, because he was gone for a long time. Because you're like, he just disappeared. You're like, where the hell's The Undertaker been? And all of a sudden he comes back riding down to the ring on a motorcycle. You're like, I'm sitting there. I was watching that with a friend's house. I'm sitting there. I'm like marking out. I'm like, oh my God, it's The Undertaker. He freaking gets in the ring and he starts cleaning house. It's like The Rock didn't win the championship though, but eventually he was building that story there. And they threw The Undertaker's return in there, which was great. That started the American Badass gimmick. That was one of my favorite returns when he came back as that. Another favorite one of my returns was when he had that Buried Alive match with Kane and as the American Badass. And if you think about it symbolically, Kane buried him, Undertaker. He buried his brother in the story. He buried his brother. Taker, the American Badass, was buried, and that was it. Then all of a sudden, things started popping up like, he's coming back for you. He's coming back for you. And then all of a sudden, at WrestleMania that year, The Undertaker came back as The Undertaker, not the, like Mark Calloway, who he was as the American Badass outside of wrestling. And he came back as The Undertaker. That was one of my favorite returns. How he basically, he reinvented himself a few times, throughout the years and stuff, and those were like two of my favorite that stick out in my mind there, of him coming out, reinventing himself as American Badass, and then going back to the Dead Man, but in a more, like he was before, but more, I don't know how to explain it though. It's just, it was fascinating. Another one would have to be one of my favorite returns would have to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. When he got ran over at SummerSlam by the car, and he was gone for a while because he had neck surgery, and you didn't hear nothing from him for a while, and all of a sudden he popped up on the screen on Monday Night Raw one time. He's like, I'm coming back, Stone Cold's coming back, and I'm going to whip someone's ass. Who the hell ran over me with that truck or the car? It is just his return, and then him trying to find out who ran him over, and him having that match with Rikishi, and him going after Rikishi and having that return of Stone Cold. And then another thing was, remember when he walked out at WWE because he didn't want to have a match with Lesnar on Monday Night Raw?
Yeah.
And then he was gone forever, and then he came back at the pay-per-view to wrestle Bischoff, and that was great. That was having Stone Cold return. That was one of my favorite ones there. And then another one of my favorite returns would have to be Shawn Michaels, 2003. Remember Shawn Michaels? Yep. You never thought he was going to wrestle again. And then he got into the storyline with Triple H, and then he got out in the ring with him. And he had that match at SummerSlam. That was Shawn Michaels, to me at that time, was fantastic.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely was fantastic at that time. My battery's going dead in my earphone for a minute. Let me pull this off. Yeah, another one of my favorite ones would have to be returning would have to be Triple H. That's actually my favorite. Remember when Triple H tore his ACL in a tag match with Chris Jericho?
That was one of the best. That was one of the best tag team matches ever on Raw.
It was. It was a good one.
Benoit and Jericho versus Austin and Triple H. That was really good, man. I love that match.
Yeah,
that shows you what kind of wrestler Triple H is, just to continue on after tearing his quad.
Yeah,
that was insane, man.
Yeah, that was insane. You guys remember that, him tearing his quad right there? And I
that match. Yeah, that match sticks out to me.
It does. It was a great tag match, and then if you realize at the time that it was almost at the start of the WCW, ECW, WWE invasion, he was not anywhere in the invasion storyline. He missed the whole thing. Triple H did.
Yeah.
You know, if I ever meet Triple H, and the one question I would ever ask him would be like, if you did not get injured, what was the plans for you during the invasion angle? I would have loved to see how he would have fit into that. Would he would have sided with Stephanie, Shane, or would he would have stayed with Vince with WWE? You know,
I never thought of that.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that's the one question.
Crazy.
That's the one question I'd love to. Yeah, what side would he would have played on? That's the one question. If I ever get to meet him, that's the one question I have to ask him. Just what angle would he play on the invasion storyline? And with when he tore his ACL and he was gone forever, and then when he came back in January, and he came back to Madison Square Garden of all places. The roof blew off the place, man. And that was awesome. Him coming out there and saying he's going to enter the Royal Rumble. And then Kurt Angle comes out and he's like, ooh. He's like, you know who I am? I'm Kurt Angle. I want a freaking gold medal with a freaking broken neck. And Triple H just whips his ass in the ring. And when he ripped off his shirt, you're like, damn. It's like he was jacked. Triple H was jacked up. The most jacked that I've ever seen him.
Yeah, he looked insane in that era. Yeah.
God, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So having him return, that's like one of my favorite returns for a wrestler there, because he came back and you know, like, the place blew off. He could have easily went heel and have been like, he was like, what are you guys cheering for? Y'all suck. He could have turned the crowd. He had the crowd in the palm of his hand, man. And I loved it. I loved every moment of it, though. But those are some of mine. Oh yeah, I'll throw this out here. CM Punk taking off with the WWE Championship after Money in the Bank, and you didn't hear nothing from him for a long time. And then he shows up on Monday Night Raw with the championship, with the new entrance music and everything and stuff.
Yeah, that was really great. I remember all that. That was fun.
Yep.
That was fun stuff. That whole rivalry with Punk and Cena was amazing. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Loved all of it.
It was one of the best. It was one of the best rivalries. People talk about one of the best rivalries in the PG era. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Probably the best one. Definitely a better rivalry than what we witness now. Those guys. That shows you how good of a worker John Cena is as well. Because during that era, I was one of those guys who, John Cena was about like Roman Reigns was. Like get off TV for a while, buddy. Let these other guys do some stuff. But when John Cena left, you missed him because he was really, really good.
Yeah.
And when Roman Reigns left, you missed him.
Yeah.
He's like a really good, worker.
Yeah.
And the Roman Reigns and John Cena is one of the best of all time. And Cena is. And Punk and Cena really put on great matches. Any match they've been together was great.
Yeah.
AJ Styles, when he had matches with AJ Styles, remember that one during the Royal Rumble when he won his 16th? Man, I never seen anyone pull stuff out like him, man. He AJ made him look good. Did he not?
Yeah. Well, Cena did as well. I mean, both of those guys are that was AJ's best matches so far in WWE was with Cena.
Yeah, with Cena, definitely. Let me ask you guys this past WrestleMania. How did you guys feel when Cena came back, did that one-off as Doctor of Thugonomics?
It was a feel good. It was a feel good moment for the fans.
It was.
Yeah, it was great to see him do that again, especially against a guy like Elias, because Elias he's built for those moments. It's easy for him because he's a guitar.
Yeah.
You can interrupt anybody with a guitar. You can go to a concert at your local bar and interrupt someone like that. I mean, it's perfect.
It is.
It's perfect for someone to just go in and interrupt Elias. And Elias plays it off very well because he's a good worker. He's a good heel. He does not need to be a babyface. He's a good heel, and especially for a guy like Cena. And Cena's interrupted him at 2 WrestleManias, am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's interrupted him twice. Yeah, because with The Undertaker showing up.
Yeah.
Back to back, yeah. WrestleMania 34 and this year at 35. He interrupted him back to back there.
Yep.
He definitely did. He definitely did. But, I mean, is there anything else you guys want to add? If not, we'll wrap this up here and we'll throw out some plugs.
Yeah, I want to plug my show for tomorrow.
That's right.
The Whitley County Fair, the Chris Rose will be in action. That will be in Williamsburg, Kentucky. I would like everyone to come down and see the man do work. Because that's what the Chris Rose does, and that's all I have to plug for right now. And if you want to catch me on Facebook at the Chris Rose, that is now my Facebook name, the Chris Rose. You will see every show on there that I promote that I'm at. And that's all I got to plug in for right now for my stuff. All of my fans can catch me on there at the Chris Rose.
Nice. Indy Mikey, what does the Squared Circle City show have coming up, and what do you have going on?
I've got a few things possibly in the works. I just dropped my newest episode last night. I had my very first referee on, a good buddy of mine, Joshua Gatton, here in Indianapolis. Very special episode for me. I do want to say, and I've had a lot of great people on, like Dale Patricks and a bunch of others I've had on, the Jim Nasty Boys, so on and so forth. But last night was very special to me because of the cause that Josh is promoting with his little entrepreneurship for Recognize Your Worth, just trying to promote positivity and just recognizing our own worth and not letting other people determine what we're worth, like determining our own worth.
Yes.
If you want to go and I'll plug his stuff. I'm like, forget about me right now. Like what he's got going on is freaking awesome. So if you want to go on Facebook and look up Recognize Your Worth, he's got shirts, he's got decals, stickers, pins, buttons, koozies, coffee mugs. He's working on water bottles, all that stuff. Just a good single dad out there, reffing like crazy. Trained by Drake Younger and Dave Chris from OVE. He was on last night. It was a phenomenal episode. You can go on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and catch those right now. It's available now. I've got a few people that I want to have on. I've actually got a few people that were hitting me up today. It's just a matter of making things happen. I don't really have anything other than The promotion that I personally work for behind the scenes, Wrestling Theology Fellowship, we have our next show August 23rd up in Carmel, Indiana. That's going to be a phenomenal show. Shane Mercer versus Calvin Tankman for the title. Oops, did I say that? Yeah, Shane Mercer versus Calvin Tankman for the title. We're bringing Arrow Boy back in, which is phenomenal. If anybody's ever heard of Arrow Boy, he's an amazing luchador from Mexico. Been killing it a lot here in the Midwest. Great stuff. Guys like Jock Sampson, guys like Chuckles the Clown out of Florida, who's actually originally from Carmel. He's one of our regulars. Anthony Totella. It's going to be a great card. It's called In Your Face. I'm very excited for that. You can catch me personally at Bizarro Lucha September 1st. I know that's a little bit of ways out, but that's going to be a great show as well. I really don't personally have much to plug for the podcast itself. Just come out if you're in the Indianapolis area. Come out to a show. Just follow me on the social media. Facebook.com/Squared Circle City Show. Twitter and Instagram both are Indy Mikey 317. Just hit me up. Keep up with what I'm doing. Just a lot of great things in the works. If you see me at a show, say hi. I'm more than happy to say hi to everybody. So just, follow me on social media and keep up. So
Nice. I want to thank both of you guys for coming on tonight. And before we do close, I do want to mention that you can catch more of the shows on the network here on podcastcity.net, your top source for independent podcasting. Head over to podcastcity.net. You can check out shows and content like the Squared Circle City Show with Indy Mikey and the Deleted Wrestling Podcast, the Everett Lee Show, the Chris Carnage Show, the Super Radio Brothers, the Imaginary with Scott and Todd, Best Friend Show with Heather and Jade, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast with David C. Russell, and Wrestle Popcast with Robin Nelson, and Mark the Shark MMA Show with Mark. And I'm forgetting your last name, Mark. I'm sorry. Don't kill me. But you can check out all those shows, as I just mentioned, on podcastcity.net. You can check out Podcasting Network over on Facebook. Give a thumbs up and a follow on Facebook, Podcasting Network. And send us a tweet over on Twitter at PodcastCityNet. And subscribe to our YouTube channel for Podcast City Network on a video podcast and much more over on YouTube, Podcast City Network, and right here on twitch.tv/Podcast City Network. Hit that follow button and notification for when we go live right here. And one last thing I want to mention here, because I have not mentioned this since it was announced back on the Everett Lee Show on episode 136. The fact that here on the Podcasting Network, right here on Twitch, on July 24, I know a lot of people were asking here a while back ago. They were asking, what is up with the number 7, 24, and 19? A lot of people are wondering what the heck was going on with that and what that all meant. Well, I'm going to tell you here, and I'm going to pull it up here just as a reminder, because it's going to be awesome next week, because a lot of people will want to tune in right here on Twitch on the Podcast City Network, because we right here on Podcast City Network love the people in our fans that come on here and view out the content and the live streams like the one here you're viewing tonight and listening to right here on Podcast City Network. What I'm talking about is that on July 24th, 2019, we will have a 7 to 8 hour live stream right here on the network, right here on Twitch. A Podcast City Network. You'll be able to catch your favorite shows and podcasts right here, streaming live
for 7 to 8 hours on Podcasting Network. So be sure to check us out here on July 24th on Podcasting Network on twitch.tv. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the Deleted Wrestling Podcast. We're going to hit the outro music and we are done. As soon as it loads up here. There you go. Everyone have a good night, and thank you for my guest, Kentucky's Own Wrestling, the Chris Rose, and Squared Circle City Show, Indy Mikey. Thank you guys.
Tongue twister even for me.
The more I say it, the more better it gets.
Every freaking show, I at least say Squared Circle Shitty Show at least once. Every time.
Nice. Thank you for viewing and listening, and we'll see you again next time for another episode of the Deleted Wrestling Podcast. Peace.